Hello, welcome to another lecture of machine learning. So, here we will basically discuss the supervised learning. Okay. So, in the last lecture, we basically discussed the the very basic concept of the machine learning approach. So, we have discussed that machine learning is basically writing a program, right? So it is basically writing a program where your program is learned from plenty of examples of input and output, right? So this plenty of examples of input and output are basically we call the training data set. Okay, now after training, your program actually estimate a set of rules, right? And and this set of rules is then used to predict the output for a new test input, right? So your program actually estimate a new set of rules based on the data provided. Data means this plenty of examples of input and output combination, that is the training data set. So now after the training, your program use a set of rules, and this set of rules are basically your trained model. And now I new test input is fed to your program, and your program predict the output. Okay, so predicting the output for a new test input is the task of basically your target. Okay, now one thing I would like to introduce here, that I am actually use the term program. You will your program will learn from the data, input output data. I use that terminology, right? Now I used a new term that is called model. Okay, so now the model is basically, so suppose I will introduce the term model. So initially your program will consider a model. Model means model can be a linear equation, it can be a non-linear equation which relates the input, which relates the output and input, and and your model will have some inherent parameters also. So then I can write that your model is basically my model, the program model, the machine learning model is basically equation which relates the output as a function of input and some parameters. Okay, and the flexible parameters, so number of parameters will vary. Oh, for a model, particular model, the number of parameter will be fixed, and it will vary for different parameters, for different models. So basically model is a equation. It can be a linear equation, it can be a non-linear equation which relates the output with input using some parameters. Okay, so now we'll basically, instead of saying that your program will learn from the data, I will say that your model will learn from the data. Okay, so model is basically, you will select the model. As a programmer, you have the full freedom to selecting a model or choosing a model, right? And then you will feed this data on the model, and then basically you're estimating this set of rules, means you're estimating the parameters of the model. Okay, so basically training means estimating this set of rules or estimating the parameters of the model. So after training, your parameter will be fixed, and now you will give new test input to your set of parameters, and it will predict the output. So this is the overall target of supervised learning. Okay, now I will give some specific examples of supervised learning. What type of task, what are the different types of task can be can be included in supervised learning. Okay, so first of all I will, so let's look at this classification task. So here you can see that the picture of 3 fruits, and for us it is very easy to recognize what are these fruits, right? So this is mango, this is apple, and this is banana, right? And for human beings it is very easy to recognize or classify them, what is the the, the fruits, these fruits, right? But how a computer or a machine can recognize these things or classify these things, whether it is a mango or apple or banana, right? How it will recognize? So this is basically a task of computer vision. So your computer or machine will learn from the image of these fruits, whether it is mango, apple or banana, right? So this is basically the task of a computer vision. So now I will select a model. So suppose this problem is given to me. So how I should approach? So suppose I have total 9,999 images of fruits, where 3,333 image is of mango, 3,333 image of apple, and 3,333 image of banana is included in this data set. Okay, now I have to learn my machine that show that it can recognize the mango, apple and banana and classify them correctly. So I have plenty of examples. I have total 9,999 examples of images of this three types of fruits, and now my machine will learn from this data. Okay, so how should I approach this problem? Okay, so first of all I should write a program. So I should first of all I will select a model. Okay, so I will select a model. So my machine learning model will learn from the images of these fruits. Okay, so image means, suppose all these images, 9,999 images are, which are example images, are a dimension are same. Suppose 30 cross 30 cross 25. So total 750 pixel values. Each of the image consists of 750 pixel values. Okay, so this pixel, so these are all grayscale image. So each of these pixels, suppose 8 bit. So this is digitally stored image. So each of this pixel have 8 bit dimension. So 8 bit precision. So suppose each of the pixel can have the value in the range 0 to 255, right? So each of the image will have 750 pixel values. Each of the pixel values will be in the range 0 to 255. Okay, so simply then so now I have to train my model. How I will train my model? Each of the image has these pixel values, which is basically we will call the features. These pixel values are basically called the features of the image. Okay, and now another thing I have to consider, that each of this image should be manually labeled. Means if it is the image of mango, I should label it that it is the image of mango. If it is an image of banana, then I should label the image as it is an image of banana. If it is an image of apple, I have to label it accordingly, right? Suppose now, so I have 3 class. So this is a multi-class classification problem. So I have 3 class: mango, apple and banana. So So suppose if it is a mango, then I will write that its class is 0. If it is an apple, then its class is 1. If it is a banana, then its class is 2. Okay, so I will just, instead of writing mango, apple and banana, I will just denote it class as 0, 1, 2. Okay. So each of the image should be labeled. So this is called labeled data set. So each of the image has features. Features means 750 pixel values, and each of the image has corresponding labels. Okay, 0, either 0 or 1 or 2. Okay, so class values. Okay, so this way we can make the model learn, make my model learn to recognize or classify this these three types of fruits. Okay, mango, apple and banana, right? So this is kind of, you can imagine that suppose we have a kid, and the kid learn from different images, different objects. He starts to recognize each of the image, each of the fruits, and we basically make them learn that this is a mango, this is an apple, this is a banana, and we gives plenty of examples to the kid, and it learns from the labeled data set. So it's kind of supervised learning. So we are supervising, we are giving the features, we are giving the images, and we are also giving the corresponding labels, class labels, the to the model, and we are supervising the model to learn from the image. Okay, so this is called one type of supervised learning, and this is a classification problem, right? Your model is classifying the fruits from the images of the fruits. Okay, now you will give, after the training, you will give a new image to the model. It will predict whether it is a mango, or whether it is a mango or apple or banana. Now you might be thinking how it will give the output. Sometime it gives output, your model gives output in terms of probability. Okay, suppose your model has 3 outputs, and each of the output, suppose first output, it actually denotes the mango, second output denotes the apple, probability of having a apple, and third output is probability of having a banana. And suppose you give a new image of a banana, of a mango is given to the model, then your model will give a high probability of the it will predict that it is a mango, and the probability of mango will be very high, suppose 0.8, and very negligible probability, suppose 0.1 or 0.15 for apple and banana. So you will then predict that your model is predicting that this new image is a image of a mango, and sometime it just give some other format of output, but most of the time it gives the probabilistic output for classification problem. So I will discuss this part later on. I'm just giving you just a overview. So what is the classification task, and how your model should learn using supervised learning technique. Okay, now let's move on to the another problem. Okay, so let's consider, suppose you have a car, or you have a used car and you want to sell it, and before giving advertisement to in the newspaper or in social media, suppose you want to predict what could be the price of your car. So obviously there are many factors that are going to influence your used car price prediction. Suppose one of the very natural one is what is the original price of the car when you bought the actual car, what is the model of the car, how much old is your car is, what is the actual condition of car, what is the fuel type, what is the odometer status of your car, how much mileage your car has, and many more factors will influence the car price, right? Now suppose you want to predict it. So how you will predict it? Here also you will use machine learning. You can use machine learning. Simply suppose you have plenty of examples of old cars whose these factors you already know, and their resale price also you know. So now you have these factors. Also, instead of factors, I can say that these are also features. Okay, the features of your machine learning problem. So features, so you have lots of features of different cars, and their selling price, their reselling price is also known to you. Now your machine learning model will learn from the several examples of these old cars and their features and their resale prices, right? And after the training, your machine learning model will trained by these features of these cars. Okay, so here also your price is basically your label, right? So in the earlier case you have class labels. In classification problem you have class labels. Now you have each of the car examples of cars have price, resale price. That is actually your labeling, right? So this is also supervised learning, but it is a different kind of learning, because after the training your machine learning model will predict the resale price of a new car. Means suppose your car that you want to sell, and your in the predicted value will not be it will be a continuous value, right? Your price is a continuous in nature, it is analog in nature, right? So it is not a class label, that is, it is not like a classification problem. So it will predict some amount, it predicts some price which is continuous in nature. Okay, so this is called regression type of problem. Okay, so earlier the fruit classification is a classification problem. So fruit, from the image how the model is learning whether it is a image of mango or apple or banana. Here the problem is completely different. Here your model is predicting the price of the car. So this is a regression type of problem, because the predicted value is continuous in nature. Okay, any value, it could have any value. Okay, it's not a 0 1 2 class output, it is a continuous output. So this is called regression problem. Okay, so these are the two types of problems, that is classification and regression problem, which are very important for supervised learning task. Now I will discuss a very important concept in machine learning, that is called generalization, right? So whether it is a classification or regression, you are basically training a model to predict something, right? Predict the class value or predict the some estimate some value, right? And your trained model should perform well. Your target should be always that your trained model should perform well on the unseen data. Unseen data means the data which has not been used for training. Okay, so it is completely new data. So your model should perform well on the unseen data. Okay, it's not if your model performs well on the trained data, it is very obvious, right? So some same data you are using for training and it is performing well on the trained data, so it is very obvious. Okay, it is bound to happen, but your trained model should perform well on the unseen data, and that is very important, and that is actually called the generalization. So if your model is performing well on the training data but can't perform well on new unseen data, then it's more likely that our model is, or trained model is actually memorizing the data patterns. It is not understanding the underlying set of rules that actually correlating the inputs and outputs. Okay, so that is very important in any machine learning problem, that we should always strive for generalization, and that is very very important criteria. But here you must be wondering that what is how I can say the performance is well or bad, how I can evaluate that. We will go into these things, how we can evaluate whether how the performance evaluation can be done in machine learning. But there are different techniques out there. For classification tasks, we basically see accuracy. In regression, we see some error analysis. Okay, so that we will take into account later on in the course. But the main thing that your trained model should perform well on the unseen new data. Okay, and that is called generalization. Okay, so that is very important. Now, most of the time we saw that is a problem in machine learning. The generalization is not achieved. Okay, you train a model, but it is not very generalized model. Okay, then the many reasons, because your model is basically learning from data, so there are many reasons that many folds of reasons that actually influence your machine learning task. Is that most of the things is the data. Sometimes the data is not sufficient, or whatever data is there, that is very poor quality data. Okay, and sometimes another problem is that thirdly, the uninformative features. Sometimes you use uninformative features to train the model. Uninformative features, suppose in this problem in car price prediction, suppose if you use the model number, as a features to train the model, suppose, but that is not a very important features to predict the price of the model, right? But somehow you use that features, that model number, it's just a ID number that you use to predict the price of the car. But that is not obvious that it is not going to help us anyway to predict the price of the car. But somehow you suppose use that features by mistake, and that is very uninformative features to predict the price of the car. So sometimes this creates problem, that we should not use uninformative features, non-representative features to train the model. And fourthly is that we are starting, so we have the freedom to choose a model, right? Sometimes we choose a very simple model which is not perfect for our task, and that creates problem, that is called underfitting problem. We will discuss in more details these things, this underfitting problem. So if your model is too simple, then this underfitting problem comes into the picture. Another problem is that sometimes our chosen model becomes very very complex. For a simple task, if I choose a very complex model with too many parameters, models means equation, I told you earlier. It is an equation with different parameters which relates the input and output. But if our chosen model is very very complex, or too many parameters, and we have very little amount of data, then what happens? Sometimes overfitting problem comes into the picture, and that is also undesirable. So underfitting and overfitting both are undesirable in machine learning tasks. Okay, so this is very basic concepts. I will discuss more details. I will discuss the models one by one, the individual models one by one. Then we'll discuss in more details this underfitting, overfitting, how we can evaluate these things. Okay, with programs we'll discuss. Okay, so in summary we can say that supervised learning tasks are of two types mainly: classification and regression. And for any problem that you would like to solve, first of using machine learning, First of all, you need a labeled data set. Labeled data set, from now you can understand what is labeling, right? Each of the training instances should have features. Features means that um, that the predictors and their corresponding label, right? For classification or regression, for both cases, you need a labeled data set for supervised learning. Secondly, you need to have choose a model. Okay, model means an equation, or you are might be very much familiar with, or very much all of you have heard the neural network model. It is a set of parameters relating input and output. Suppose you select a neural network model, you are starting with this thing, and then you select a model, and thirdly you should train that selected model. Then you will train the selected model. So there are different learning algorithms are available, we will discuss then how we can train the model. And finally your objective is to use the trained model to make prediction on new cases, and that is also called inference. So your final task is inference. When you have a trained model, you will just infer the or predict the output from the new features of data. Okay, you will give a new data to the model, and always your target will be that your trained model will generalize well. Means your trained model should perform well on the unseen data. Unseen data means which data has not been used for training. Okay, so this is the very basic idea of machine learning. Some new new terms I have introduced in this video. So we'll discuss more on this in the subsequent lectures, and that's all for this video. I will stop here today. Okay, so bye.